Like 387 separate tattoos.
That's too many.
Should have just got one big one.
Hello and welcome to episode 102 of Preachin on Preacher at the Movies. In the first half of this podcast, we're going to be talking about The Greatest Showman. And in the second half, we're going to be talking about 2017, a year in movies. I almost fucked that up.
The Greatest Showman.
The greatest.
Yeah. And it sounded like a bit of a question.
That'll be
The Greatest Showman?
Well, yeah.
Who put the question mark in the teleprompter?
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
We'll tell you if it's The Greatest Showman or not tonight. I'm Aidan Ralph.
Michael Ormond.
Joe Lennon.
It's Misha Kenneth.
Oh,
Kenneth.
You got a full name.
We got more of his name. Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Askelga.
Yeah.
Tá trí bliana déag dísh.
It's Motlum Cock and Millish.
Anwyl Cadigal. Dulgo di
Fucking
Electris.
hell.
Mashe de Hull.
Neil.
Yeah. This is...
Oh.
No, as in kneel down and suck my dick. That's what it's...
What kind of school did you go to?
Christian Brothers?
Oh,
The
the best
Catholic
kind.
school.
Of
obviously.
course, of
Christian
course.
Brothers School.
We were lucky we had nuns.
Christian lovers.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
I'll have
Nothing
none of
better
that.
than a
None
lot
of
of
that.
horny nuns.
Here, lads, none of this now.
None of that.
How are
Oh,
your
that was a
weeks,
great one.
you fucking cocks?
Not bad.
Who's first?
Not great. My son got conjunctivitis, which is
Congratulations.
child,
Oh, wait,
yeah.
no, sorry.
Wait,
so he's
that's
got
not
a
to be
goopy eye
celebrated.
infection.
That's disgusting
Mm-hmm.
and horrid. Is he gonna lose the eye?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's actually mostly better now, thank you.
Lined
Oh.
with a patch.
Oh, could you imagine how cool Ryan would be?
Yeah.
Just a pirate patch for the rest of his life.
Everybody would be his friend.
Can we put
Like
a patch
Thor?
on him anyway?
Yeah, sure.
Deadly.
Sweet.
Just don't tell him I said it. You could.
or Jess.
Yeah. Or
Just starts acting like a pirate for the rest of his life. Becomes that guy from Dodgeball. Just believes
Pirate
he's
Steve?
Pirate Steve.
It's Pirate Ryan.
Pirate Ryan for the rest of his life.
Hello, Daddy. How are you? That'll be him in a few years.
That joke wasn't a patch on the last one, but anyway.
Hey.
Oh.
What do you get when you cross a pirate with a pedophile?
Arr,
Kelly.
Oh.
How was your week, Joe?
My week is never going to be anywhere near as good as that joke. Oh, and it shouldn't be. No, you know what?
No.
This week, it can go fast enough. Probably me. It was absolutely shy. There's
Yeah.
nothing of note.
Shine the bucket.
Shy in a bucket, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit shy in a bucket.
Ken,
Oh.
how was your week, mate?
It was all right.
Yeah. Sure, I've had worse.
Great. We're going to
I've
talk
had worse,
funny
I've
and
had better.
pirate mode.
Is it already National Talk Like a Pirate Day?
Hell yeah.
Did I miss it?
Yeah.
Yar!
There's always next year.
Turn the crankshaft, laddies. We're heading for land.
yeah, it was all right.
Boats don't have crankshafts.
That's good to...
I was thinking, put up the horsepower.
Jesus Christ.
Someone turn on the Bluetooth.
If you're done with your horrible pirate
Tis be a
jokes,
fine motorboat I want.
put them away. I'm trying to sail. Should
It's
we
fierce
talk-
distracting.
Yeah. Oh, I can barely
was
see
your
the
week,
horizon. It was alright. Yeah, it's still quite quiet in work. I got a nice bonus though for recommending my friend Kira for the job. So
Did
I
you
got
say that last week, or was that another bonus?
was it last week? It was last
You
week,
did,
but
yeah.
the week just gone, I did some very frivolous spending. So that was nice. I bought yet
Tell
another.
them what you bought.
I bought yet another Cards Against Humanity expansion pack.
There's
So,
another one?
There's another one, yeah.
They'd have to keep
Did you
on
buy
going.
yourself a sense of humour?
no,
Oh,
you,
wow.
you can't buy that.
Oh, shit.
can't
I
buy
thought they were
humour.
doing it on special.
You can't buy humor or love. I tried.
Shit. You can on Ben Burke Street.
Hey.
I found love.
Yar.
Like Adele, that's what I'm saying.
Or the Ibis at the Red Cow.
I found love in me local maze.
Logo maze. I'd always sing like I found love when I was off my face, but I think yours is even better.
If you're not
Milk
finding
section.
love at your local mace, what are you doing?
Yeah. Isn't that where we all
That-
met
yeah.
each other?
Probably.
It's where we're recording this podcast from.
In Mace.
Damn it. It's
In
always
the-
been a
in-
secret location until now.
One of the
It
many
was never my
fine mace
apartment.
stores
Yeah.
at convenient locations with great prices.
Under the tree at Spar or Mace, if you're watching, then sponsor us, will you?
Is
We
there a
could do it.
difference?
Cost cutter,
Ah,
whatever.
whatever.
I don't
Yeah.
care. Daybreak, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Is mace
I
different
mean,
as bar?
Yes.
Yeah, they're two completely different shops, but
Okay. Yeah, they're spelled differently and they're pronounced differently.
And they have different logos. Are you an idiot or something?
Actually, now that I think about it, I think they're completely two different companies.
Different shark.
Completely different companies.
Should we talk about the Greatest Showman?
Yeah,
No?
we
Or
done with
let's
our
see in part 2
lovely-
then.
Yeah, okay, let's go into the film.
I should mention
hadn't seen
I'm
this?
slightly under the weather, so I will be trying not as much. I'll be trying as much as I can not to cough directly into the microphone.
I'll tell you, I
Fuckers here to infect us.
my cough lasted about 6 weeks, so 6 weeks of constantly doing that and trying to cough off Mike. So you two had seen it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had not.
Us two had not seen it.
Mhm.
All right.
I'd been told by my 3-year-old nieces that it was good.
Yeah, but
Did you believe their judgment?
Yeah, but the kids are stupid, so like presumably you have to take all that with a pinch of salt.
Mhm.
I got a feeling you hated this.
I
My
didn't
son-
hate it.
My son watches the same 17 episodes of Blaze every night.
So this is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't hate it. But it's
All right, let's give us your thoughts first then.
it was good but not amazing, I thought. Like it was grand. Like I wouldn't it was grand. I wouldn't
Such
be
a bland
sure,
kind
it was grand. I
was
wouldn't
alright.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I wasn't angry when I stopped watching it.
Was
Yeah.
it not the show that you were always waiting for?
No. I just thought
No?
I haven't
Nobody?
seen
No.
We're-
Fuck's sake.
The average showman, he said it was going to be.
Yeah.
called.
No, I wanted to call it The Showman.
Just the showman.
It's just The
The
Showman.
showboat.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
boats
like-
again.
Yeah. Because he wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't the worst. I was like, it's The
But
Showman.
he was the greatest showman.
Yeah. He was brilliant in it. Hugh Jackman is obviously class in it.
Yeah.
He's
As
such
was
such a range as an actor.
yeah. Efron
so
was
good.
Efron was
Like-
excellent in it as well. But
Mm.
he's shaping up to be a fucking seriously good actor.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
He
so
shaved off that High School Musical now, hasn't he? He's
Oh,
got
He
those-
definitely has. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gone now.
Of-
Once that Ted Bundy movie comes out, that is
That's
and
it.
That's
once
his
it's
career
good,
done. Yeah, he's
he's
made.
He's
Of
out.
all
He's out
of
of that
the
fucking shit.
people like in the film, I think I was most surprised by Zac Efron because, like,
Yeah.
to me, I've not seen a whole lot of his stuff. He's still, oh, isn't that the guy from High School Musical?
Yeah.
Have you not seen Bad Neighbors?
I've not seen
He's
Bad
very
Neighbors.
good in Bad
Not
Neighbors.
a particularly great film, but he's excellent
I've
in
not
it.
seen
As is
Baywatch,
Rogan, but he's
which
great
I
in
know
everything.
he's into.
I even thought he was better in the
Baywatch.
second one.
I haven't
thought
seen
it
the second
movie.
one, I don't think.
But yeah, because he just, I don't know, I didn't know what to expect because,
Yeah.
hey, it's another musical film that Zac Efron's in.
Yeah.
But he came off really well and he was quite a good actor, like, in the non-singing scenes. I
Mm.
think you could tell in the singing and dancing stuff that he obviously had the High School Musical background. 'cause-
Yeah, he's comfortable. You
Yeah.
can see that he's completely comfortable in
Mhm.
it. Though a lot of actors shine in that. Like Hugh Jackman's one where you saw him in Les Mis, but it's a very
I've not seen Les Mis.
it's a very dreary role, and the songs are
Mm.
kind
Like
of
miserables.
yeah. It's exactly
It's in
that
the
kind of
name.
thing. So seeing him in
Yeah.
a happy kind of musical thing, and I know he's comes from Broadway and stuff like that. Even before he put on the claws for Wolverine, like he was a Broadway kind of guy, and to see that, like now, this is one of his dreams. He wanted to make this film.
Mhm.
Was it? He just kind of shines, like in it for me anyway. I thought, yeah,
Yeah, no, he's
agree.
excellent. I couldn't really fault him. Like I've said this last year when we did The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a whole lot of musicals, but I like the genre in general. But I've only seen a handful. That's why our question of the week that week was best and worst musicals. That's why I watched
right.
a good musical, which was Chicago, and a bad musical, which was Paint Your Wagon.
Yeah,
I
we
thought you
were
were going to say a bad one, which was the greatest showman.
we
No,
were,
no,
were
no.
talking about this earlier, and it was like it's one of those genres I don't ever seek out to watch.
Yeah,
And then I was like, I can nearly name all the musicals I've seen on one hand, and I was
Yeah.
just thinking,
Yeah.
and it's like the South Park movie,
Yeah, that's it. I'd count that. There's a lot of
the
singing
The Wizard of Oz,
in
The Greatest Showman, and there was a fourth one, and it's
Sound of Music?
never seen it.
Mary
Never-
Poppins?
Wow.
Never seen it,
half of it.
or
is, yeah.
half of it.
Oh, for fuck.
But then we got into a debate,
Yeah.
like, do Disney cartoons count as musicals?
I'd say yes,
Like
but they're
Lion King and stuff, or
Yeah.
Lion King, I don't know.
Animated musical, maybe.
they do. Like I think they're.
Maybe.
I think you'd include them in the genre. There.
Well, no,
To
Lion
me,
King
they're
is a musical as well, though.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yeah, it would be.
They do
Yeah.
like they do count, but I'd say they're like under a
Yeah.
subgenre.
To me, they're
Yeah.
animated first, and they just one of the traits of animated films is they do a lot of music.
Yeah, like all them Disney movies would actually be classed. Actually thinking about
In that
it,
case,
like,
I've seen a lot.
yeah, like Moana, Frozen, all that stupid bull.
I also saw
think
We
it's
Will
live
Rock You,
action
the
kind of-
Queen musical, which was quite good.
Was it?
I saw
Better
that
one is
online.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Was it better than that horrible performance at the Oscars of Weird Face and Brian May?
No idea. Queen weren't actually.
You
in it.
really don't like him, do you?
He just gives me the fucking creeps. He's like a Ken doll.
Posty Maloney. You think
no,
No, it's not
No.
him. It's
that was Aerosmith the
Adam-
year before.
Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
No,
it's
Adam.
Lambert.
He's a Ken doll.
He does. He's
Adam Lambert, yeah.
absolutely greased up. Like
Yeah, he's
Like,
just. I don't
he
know,
looks
just
a bit weird.
gives me the creeps. But it's side note, by the way, talking to musicals and one we mentioned a few minutes ago, I was looking at the record store day list for this year.
Mhm.
Now I'm trying to save money and stuff for holidays and house hopefully
So
and all that
You
sort
probably
of shite,
should
but
not look at record store day lists.
I shouldn't, but I did find one that I will do my best to try and get.
The Greatest Showman.
No, that's
Vinyl?
what, first of all, no, that's out already. You can get that anywhere.
Would you get it? Do you think the songs are good enough?
The songs were good. There was one in particular that was, oh fuck, I can't even remember what the song was, but it was the one before Adele's favorite one. I just can't remember what it is, but
What's Adele's favourite one then?
do you know, I'll look at the plot in a minute and I'll try and figure out whereabouts it was. But yeah, South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut has finally been released on vinyl.
Oh, wow.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ!
For the 20th anniversary, presumably. So
Holy
that's
shit! That's something.
that's
Never expected that. Okay.
because I've looked for it before to see if it was ever released on vinyl and it wasn't.
Mm.
So this is the first time it's been put out. So
Oh, okay.
I'm very pleased with that. And I hope it's not super expensive. But yeah.
You're gonna have to really, really hope
Oh, I know.
because if it
I know.
hasn't come out like ever, and then anniversary, fuck. Yeah.
Say 40,
It's gonna be
50
pricey.
I would be expecting something like that, yeah,
Yeah.
because record store day is getting harder and harder to deal with every year because the prices keep going up and up.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like when it started, like
Since it went mainstream, man.
Yeah,
honestly,
you
like,
realise the money they can make.
it's
off
true,
it.
yeah.
So-
But like a 7-inch single would normally cost $5 at the start of the record
But
store day.
this is what the goal was for Record Store Day, though. Like the day was like, we want it to be big enough where everyone's like, oh, Record Store Day.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, no,
this
the-
was the
the
whole
whole-
idea to get the kind of
No, the
fandom around that.
No, the point was to
bring
help.
back vinyl.
The point
in a
was to
big
help
way.
independent record stores. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah, but
record-
now you've got HMV doing record store day.
What's
no, you
HMV?
don't. They're
Do they not do record
No,
store
they're
day?
not eligible for it. They can't do it.
They did.
But they
When
do-
we were open, we did. I worked.
There were
with them.
specials and stuff like
Yeah,
that,
we
but it
had
wasn't
specials
officially.
and
Yeah.
stuff. But it was,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, sorry.
That's
then
how I got Drive for so cheap.
Yeah.
Alright.
I misrepresented that. I didn't mean that because I actually had no idea there was an official
Oh yeah, you have
record
to be
store
an
day
indie,
thing. But they would open the same on record store day as the independent record stores and have their own sale stuff
Yeah, they did.
and
yeah.
trying to edge their way in because with the business model that HMV
when-
and those
yeah.
kind of places
When
need, it's
record
like
store day was
any
open.
time you can get some kind of thing that increases turnover and footfall, you're going to jump on
yeah,
it.
it's true.
Like
It's
the
true.
vinyl section, I remember when we were open for Record Store Day was wedged.
Hmm.
It was just as soon as a person left, two came behind them. Like, you know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
crazy.
But,
I actually thought the songs in this you would really like because of the modern take in it, like R&B and hip hop style that they threw in there
yeah.
to it. Like obviously this isn't the music style you'd get in the 1800s, so it was
Yeah.
that kind of
Well, yeah.
modern, different things. Because I really like that one, "Come Alive" at the end. I'm not "Come Alive." "Come Home." Is it at the last one? "Home Again."
Home again.
That near the end has this amazing beat of just slaps, bangs on like wood and just feet into this.
Oh, was that
awesome-
at the bar?
We're in the bar.
Yeah, in the bar.
There's
where
a song
all of them are
before
in the
that
bar.
I really, really liked. In
That was the
particular.
one where they were
Yeah.
singing about themselves being freaks
Yeah.
and being accepted into society. Remember, they done like the creepy walk out to the people rioting and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. I can't remember the name, but I know the song. That is probably one of my favorite in the whole
Yeah.
thing.
From
That
now
and the
on,
first song,
from
'cause
now
it's
on is the
big,
one I liked it. Yeah, that's "This Is Me," isn't it?
Yes.
"This Is Me." It's
Yeah.
when they get kind of pushed out of a party. It's like, no, you can't come in.
Yeah.
I was like, where Barnum is a complete another wanker for like 40 minutes of the film.
But then they
Why
accept
not?
them later on. It was quite weird.
Because they're family.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not.
Like I really enjoyed this film, but there's a certain few plot lines in it that I really despise.
To be honest, the entire plot of the film is completely contrived.
Mm.
It's a very basic, man with dream turns to people who he thinks are friends, turns on them to get the bigger deal.
Yeah.
That
he
goes
uses
sour.
People
Yeah,
to
he
get where
loses
wants.
everything,
Yeah.
but then everything's okay in the end because the people he first went into business with are real good, friendly people, and they believe in family and happiness.
Do you know what's funny? Everything you just said, there's literally nothing wrong with that. It just makes like it's wrong. I tell you.
No, in that it's
It's bad, I tell you.
it's a very basic
shouldn't happen.
premise
Yeah.
for what is a light-hearted, fun musical.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he got these people on board to try and make himself
Mhm.
a star, which he then did, which failed. and went back to them and was kind of all like, "Oh, I didn't make it, but I
Oh,
still
sorry.
like you guys."
I get the idea of it needs to be in the film, but the whole story with Jenny Lind, the one he goes with the singing on the tour.
I did quite like that Never Enough song.
She didn't sing it though.
Yeah.
Did you know?
No.
Ah.
No. Jenny Lind tour thing really pissed me off because it was. I get it. It's his plot line and it's a plot device to lead to his redemption. I get that, and a lot of films have that kind of thing.
Yeah. The thing, like,
It just irritates the shit out of me. It's the only part of the film I really don't like.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge fan of the starting montage from young to where it settles on his his dream. You know, all the way up until he gets fired. Like, that moment on it is one of the best montages I've seen to flow. There's a flow to it, and there's
it gets
no
started
yachts.
really, really quickly. They
Yeah.
don't linger too long on the
Love that.
childhood stuff. And they just go straight into... Because obviously it opens with Hugh Jackman singing, which I think is a great intro to the film. And because I think that's the same
'cause it
song they sing at
disappears.
the end,
It is.
isn't
It is, yeah. It's continuation, yeah.
So they do that, and then it turns to him as a kid looking into the ringmaster outfit on
Yeah.
the clothes shop. So it's very easily... This guy, then it goes to the kid thing. Kid thing lasts 10 minutes. You get the basic premise of the... Okay, he loves this girl. He comes back, gets her, they move in, and then it's Hugh Jackman again.
Yeah.
Or P.T. Barnum again.
His
And
dad died. He struggled on his own and then found his own way.
I want to know how he
It was
fucking
quick.
afford... I was going to say, never mind. I was going to say, how do you afford stamps for all those letters? But they do show him sliding into the post.
Well,
Postman's
we
bag.
came up
We're
with
trying to
points.
figure out how did she...
What address did he have to get letters?
Exactly. I was thinking that as well. What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
without the Ken brought that up immediately.
Did he
I was
just like dip
oh
his
shit,
hand
yeah.
into your man's bag and go, "Oh, there's a letter.
There's
from
my
us.
letter."
Happy
poor
days."
bastard on streets. Let me see.
Yeah.
Is there a poor bastard?
Come over here.
Poor bastard with no shoes stealing bread.
Yeah, the P stands for poor bastard. That's me.
I thought that was great just as an opener to a film because it just kind of... All right, we're in. We're into
Yeah,
it. We
gave
know
the
literally the
backstory
whole
Yeah.
thing.
quick and like perfect.
Yeah.
I think the weird thing for me is, and it's kind of a compliment, but also kind of a negative on the film. I don't have anything hugely negative to say about The Greatest Showman. I
Yeah.
also don't have anything hugely positive to say about The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, I'm exactly.
You kinda
That's
land
what I
right
mean.
in the
Like,
middle.
Yeah,
It's
same.
kind of like I'd watch it again.
there's-
I
yeah,
thought it was
so would I.
entertaining.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like
Yeah.
maybe it would reward more in a second viewing because you
Maybe. I noticed more things.
because you guys were like
In
speak so
a
highly of it, and
second.
Rosie and Adele
Yeah.
speak of
Yeah.
it so highly.
Because
I think
I
it's
said it
'cause
to
Hugh
you,
Jackman's
didn't
a
it?
babe.
I said it last night to them. It was I
The
never
greatest
noticed when certain two characters are together and they have a song together.
Mhm.
It's mirrored over with piano in the background. So when PT is with Zac Efron's character,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hear the song that they sang in the bar to hire him.
That
And I'll
scene
like
was
in the
actually
background.
very good.
It's
Yeah.
phenomenal. The
So one-
barman.
one
I
thing-
love
yeah.
the
If you
barman.
watch that scene again and just watch the barman, only the barman.
It's unreal.
One
It's the
thing I
best scene.
can't
The choreography
actually,
is
can't
incredible
actually
in that
fault
scene.
is the
So good.
choreography. It's literally
The whole
like,
film's choreography.
how they manage that scene, because obviously it's the barman, Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron,
Yeah.
but they're sliding like
The drinks back
and forth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the part at the end where they lined up the 8 shots did that, and they were sliding them back and forth and doing that thing, and the other one would drink it and then slide it back, and the other guy would just
It's
neck
just
it.
perfect.
It's just like that's actually
Even
really
the
really
barman
good.
with his
Yeah.
hands out, like pointing back and forth to them when they're taking
Uh-huh.
the shot.
Yeah.
It's just
He's doing like dividing up when he goes, hey, we'll give you 8%, and it's like 10, and you can see
Yeah.
him dividing it up, and then you just when it all goes quiet, the barman.
Yeah.
I fucking love that. It's just the
That
barman.
is actually, I would say, of
It's
all
great.
the scenes in the film, that's probably my favorite one.
What do you think of the transition to the circus though? Because I didn't notice it until they pointed out to me. You know when they got dancing, then they switch hats, and then they turn around, and the circus is there,
yeah.
Mhm.
and they walk into the circus, but when the camera pans back around, the bar is gone. It's
Oh, okay.
seamless.
Yeah,
it's
so
absolutely
it's like-
seamless.
so it's a scene with them, and you can see the bar in the background.
Yeah.
And then it's like an above shot of them, and the camera then it's above shot of them
Uh-huh.
like in the bar, and it pans down, and the circus is behind them, but
Yeah.
you still see the floor of the bar.
yeah,
And then they walk towards it. The camera flips to the other side
Yeah.
of them,
Bar's
and
gone.
the bar behind them is gone.
There's
They did
al-
a
Really
Very
cool
good
transition.
scene transition.
sorry to interrupt, but they did a similar thing in Scott Pilgrim. Do you know when Scott goes into the toilet at one stage, has a piss, washes like pee bar,
Oh
and then he
yeah.
barely washes his hands, and he goes back out, and then all of a sudden it's a fantasy sequence, and he's in his
Oh.
high school hall.
Oh yeah.
They did that for real. So when he went
No
to the
way.
jacks, they pulled away all that shit and very quickly pulled on the
There
tiled
was,
floor and
yeah,
stuff.
there
So
was
cool.
a video going
Yeah.
around Facebook a couple of months ago of like a scene in a sitting room that seemed to be showing a family going from like just moved in to having kids to getting a dog and all that stuff.
Right.
But they did it live as well. But they had a second camera showing everything around. We can try to dig it up and put it on the Facebook page.
That'd be cool.
Where it's like it'll show what the scene is showing, but then there's a second camera like way off, like in the top corner, showing all the staff running around, like moving tables and changing lighting and putting a whole lot of prop stuff together.
Yeah.
So that when the camera pans back around, it's like
No
it
way.
looks like it's edited together a huge amount of different scenes, but it's all one scene just done with like real good like studio engineering and trickery. It's something crazy.
I'm a big fan of those ones where the actors literally are seamlessly walking through a scene while things change. And there's not many films that take advantage because you'd have to have the right story and the right scene and the right whatever. But as you walk through and things can change in the background, if you're doing that practically, I'm gonna love that film. I'm gonna love the idea.
I'm sure Birdman
of it,
probably did a lot of that for
100%. I believe there's a lot of scenes in that where as soon as he walked by the camera or anything like that, they went go go go.
Yeah.
Like it
Loads
moves
of
that.
There's one in Kill Bill Volume 1 as well, where it's like a 6-minute continuous shot.
Yeah.
Oh, her
Where
walking the House of Blue Leaves.
Yeah. Where she walks in,
really?
follows
Is that one shot?
follows her like into the House of Blue Leaves, then it goes off to someone else, comes back to someone else. But it's literally one 6.5-minute shot or something.
Jesus.
And it's crazy how they put that together. And I think coming back to The Greatest Showman, there's a lot of nice visual flares in this film as well. Like the scene where they're dancing on the roof with all of the
Did you notice?
Sheets,
it took me
the
the
sheets,
second
and
time.
the sheets all move
are
exactly
time,
like they were dancing in time, and it was just like
told you.
What?
It took me the second viewing to notice that as well.
That
like,
and
I did
where-
not
Rosie
notice
pointed that out to me in the first viewing.
Yeah, I was like,
where Michelle Williams is dancing or Charity is dancing in
They're
the house
amazing.
alone at the end, and like she's imagining Hugh Jackman dancing with her, and then the curtain moves, and it's like he
And he's
disappears.
gone.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
that's the only song I don't like in the whole film. Is her one? What's it called again? Tightrope.
Oh,
I did not like the song. Your one, Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
Well, even if you're talking about visuals as well, at the first scene in it where they're kids, when he picks up that torch and spins it and he's moving around like the lampshade and stuff, all the silhouettes from the lampshade are animals.
oh yeah.
Of like horses
yeah.
and lions, tigers, bears, elephants and
That's
stuff
where
like
I
that.
was kind of confused because those opening scenes seem to indicate he wanted to run a circus for like since he was a little kid. But then he basically came up with the idea of the circus.
Yeah,
So it was a little weird. I was like, well,
I
he's...
think the lights
extravagance
hint-
of animals. I think was kind of one of the main
I don't think he
things
had
though.
any idea that he was going to do a circus thing. It didn't really come
Well,
to him
circuses
till
didn't
later.
Do you
exist.
think it
But-
was that the lights were playing to him?
No,
As
he
in
wanted to
this is
become
going
better
to be
than
your
he
future.
was. He wanted to get it. It's that kind of thing of. It's that line he says when she goes, "How could you understand?" It's like my father was treated like dirt. I was treated like dirt. I think he just wanted to be more than what he was.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to be somebody.
wanted
No
to
matter what
prove
it is, I'm
himself.
going to prove
Yeah.
I'm going to be this.
I'm gonna be somebody sane.
I think the lights
I could
give
have been a
clues
contender.
to his future. I think they're just clues to his future, but he doesn't know it yet. I think, well, that's what I took from it.
I think as well, reading up on the actual P.T. Barnum, they took an awful lot of liberties with the
Yes.
story.
Yeah.
He
Like,
was
it's-
meant to be an absolute dick.
You mentioned that last
He has
week.
some
yeah.
amazing quotes about happiness in children and stuff like that.
Because
But his character is supposed to be pretty much,
I did enjoy the newspaper guy as well. The guy
He
who's
has my
writing the
favorite line
review.
in the whole film is at the end when, and it kind of ties the whole thing together. It's like
Like the rug in
So-
that film.
the ru-
Ties the room together.
he says, I really, some critics might call it a celebration of humanity.
Mhm.
And it's like, that's really
That would have been
fucking
nice.
cool.
I would have
Like,
liked that.
yeah, I would have liked that. It's like you had everyone of colour up there. You had a thing all as equals, which is why you can see why society fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And it burnt it down. You know, it was
Yeah.
like, go on, freaks, your master's calling.
Mm.
I love that.
And even when the mother turns around to Zac Efron, and the father is what are you walking around with the help for?
Mhm.
Oh, that
Yeah.
scene
It's
is
just
so
it's
fucked.
like that is such a hard thing to be able to depict how someone would feel, but you can kind of see the emotion in the movie of them times being like that. So they had to bring the whole element of humanity into it, as well as just it's
That's how people thought back then.
Yeah, it's
Like-
crazy.
Should we talk about the facts?
Sure, can do.
Yeah.
Let's rock into them.
Send some facts.
You caught me off guard.
Oh no!
Well, you gave me the 2 minute
Yeah,
warning.
and there was
Yeah,
still
so-
30
2
seconds.
minutes.
There was still 30 seconds.
Well, that's trying
Right,
to
facts.
That's a fact.
Facts, Max.
Just the facts, ma'am.
I'm going to start rushing you all the time. now.
Look, we're trying
No,
to keep it
you're grand,
tight,
you're grand.
like your asshole.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
No, definitely not. Oh, sorry.
Right.
That's how my week was.
I found out I have a turd. Never mind.
Oh, God. Many of the costumes used in the ensemble circus scenes at the beginning and the end of the film were borrowed from Feld Entertainment, the current owners of the Ringland Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. They were used in for the productions in The Greatest Show on Earth. So they actually got some of the actual costumes.
Rosie gave you that fact last night.
She did. I had to use it.
Sorry, I'm just going to spoil all these if he didn't research them himself and they were given to him.
Barnum's American Museum was so popular that the crowds inside would linger much too long, thereby cutting into his profits. P.T. Barnum came up with an idea.
Damn
To make
profit.
way for additional paying customers, he posted signs indicating this way to egress. Unaware, most people didn't know egress was another word for exit. People followed the signs to what they assumed was a fascinating exhibit, where they ended up going outside.
What a dick.
What a dick. He's such a smart motherfucker.
What a smart man.
Like, smart man, but an absolute dick.
So he invented the exit sign.
It was like,
Get out now.
He enter to the gift shop when the gift shop's a load
he
of
probably
shit.
noticed
Yeah.
nobody the people that watch my show don't know what egress means.
Yeah.
You know what? Dickhead. Anyway, when the movie was in the process of being greenlit, Hugh Jackman had surgery on his nose to remove skin cancer. Hugh Jackman had 80 stitches and was told by his doctor not to sing. Hugh Jackman followed the doctor's recommendation until it came to the last song from now on, where Hugh chose to sing. Halfway through, he noticed his nose was bleeding. You can actually see that video on YouTube.
It's a rehearsal video.
rehearsal
of him.
video.
He goes, do you know, what's your man Win
Did he
from
not sing in the
Supergirl?
film?
No, he did,
did.
but it was at the rehearsals because he
Oh,
got the
okay.
when they
graph
were
removed.
recording and stuff.
Your man Win, I can't think of it. He was in Supergirl.
He's in
A
Supergirl.
phenomenal singer. He was filling in his parts at the rehearsal.
You can see it.
And
You can't hold
Hugh
it back.
Jackman was kind of just standing there, and he was kind of just kind of get the feel of the song, and then just comes out belting. And it's like, what the? And you
He
can see
just
him like
jumps into
patched
it.
up in his nose, and then every so often he like touches his nose, as in, oh shit.
He's had it
bleeding.
twice in his nose actually
Yeah.
over the years.
Jesus.
Suppose he's clear now, but like in January 2017, the Ringland Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus announced that their doors were closing forever due to decreased attendance and evidence of widespread animal abuse. The last Barnum show ever was in May 2017 after 146 years.
It is going that way, isn't it? Like,
All those things are kind of disappearing.
Yeah.
because I was just thinking to myself
gotta
when
be
I was
safe
watching
ways
this,
to
I
do
was
it.
like, when was the last time I was at the circus? And I actually can't answer that question.
Not anymore.
I used to love the
Animal
circus as a kid,
Like a
but
name.
I
Remember
do.
down in Clontarf, 2 flamingos got loose and were like running down Clontarf Bay. Like, what the fuck?
That's an extra free show.
Yeah.
Great times.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
I did-
it's true. All those things are kind of
Yeah.
disappearing.
But
now, and it's kinda
realistically,
sad.
I
sorry,
mean-
not flamingos.
I
emus.
understand that.
Sorry.
If you think about it, the animals probably are not the
No.
best treated.
No, they're dope.
It would be
it's
great
always the
that
way
if
it's
they
been.
could figure a way to do it safely and not harmful to the
Mhm.
animals. But again,
Well,
you're
I think
always gonna have
circus
someone-
future now is more. I would imagine more like Cirque du Soleil type
Yeah.
acrobatic shows rather than
They have a circus every year to let you break them, but it's human only.
human circus.
Yeah, like so it's just.
Can you
humans.
apply to be one of the humans in the circus?
I'm
You,
pretty
like,
weird
dress
looking,
up
so
as
I'd
animals?
imagine. Yeah,
Yeah, actually like dress up as animals?
yeah.
Or is it
Yeah,
like
they do.
the
Yeah.
Cirque du Soleil?
No, I'm just joking them out. I'm just lying to you.
Look at the masturbating
Hey.
gorilla.
Oh, that's
It's just Aiden whacking off in the corner.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stop touching yourself.
Hey
Or
guys.
you'll get the hose again.
hey guys.
Oh, you're getting some hose.
Hey guys.
Next
Alright,
fact. This is all.
among Barnum's freaks, the film portrays an Asian conjoined twins. The actual twins were Chang and Eng Bunker, 2 brothers from Siam, modern-day Thailand. That is for all you people who want to know.
Geography nerd.
Whose heritage was actually basis of them. Siamese twins comes from Chang and Eng. Chang and Eng retired after their life in Barnum's Circus to North Carolina, got married and had 11 children and 10 children respectively. However, they became destitute after the American Civil War and went on tour again.
Oh.
They both died in 1874. Chang had a brain blood clot and Eng from a heart failure within 3 hours of each other.
Okay, I
Oh.
was going to say, because that'd be
Yeah.
fucking awkward if it was like a couple of
Yeah.
months.
Hold on for a second.
I want to know the
How they-
logistics of
They're actually
Siamese
kids.
twins having sex independently of each other.
Is it a 4-way?
Or is it just a curtain down the middle?
Yeah, does he get like just like hold up like a pedo jacket in front and just be like, "Come on, Ying, hurry the fuck up! I want to go to cinema."
The teen years must have been a nightmare. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, can I do that? Oh fuck, I can do that.
If we use each other's hands, it'll be like,
Oh, you got a bit of your jizz on me. Oh Jesus, get off.
They're trying to read the paper. Like, it's like, do you mind?
I thought you
What
were
did we
sleeping, I'm
say?
sorry.
What do we say? Get behind, get your curtain.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, does it turn into like a four-way with the two? Do they plan like, oh, we have to have sex for our partners? At
Pay
the
no
same
attention to
time?
the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, and how awkward.
How have I never thought of these things? This is fucked up.
And they're like,
Oh my god.
they were like by the hip, so it's not like they could actually like turn away from each other.
Like, how quiet would you have to be when you're whacking it? Just be like if it's say for at night, just feel the slightest shuffle there. Are you doing it again? No.
No,
just scratching me bollocks. Don't worry about it.
And you constantly have to sleep on your back.
Yeah.
you'd really have to get on with your brother.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine.
Hey,
you
Can you imagine trying to sleep
Hold
on
on.
your side and
Do
he's
they
underneath
share
you?
a
Like,
bowel?
Yeah,
No, they
you'd be
wouldn't.
up sideways.
I, have,
Yeah.
I
If one
think
gets,
you can,
if one gets the runs, you're fucked.
oh yeah.
Like, oh shit, man. Like, if one gets a cold, does the other one automatically get a cold?
Is it the same immune system?
Can we do this as a question of the week?
I forgot.
Like,
no,
for a whole,
we
like-
don't know any medical experts.
No, like a
Well,
whole
I do,
like,
but, like,
questions
yeah.
about
Twins?
Siamese. Never mind. All right, I'm moving on.
I imagine that kind of stuff depends on what shared vital organs you would have.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Here
we're
we
doing
go,
this.
Mr.
We're doing it.
Intelligent.
We're doing it.
All right,
We should
Joe,
go
come
on.
on.
More facts.
More
Counterintuitively,
facts.
Shannon Hall.
Counterintuitively.
I know,
You
yeah.
couldn't fucking
Some
pronounce
big
your own
words
notes.
for you, Joe.
I said it fucking right.
Ah, you did not bollocks.
He has it spelled
Come on.
out phonetically on the sheet.
Shannon Halzafel, the actor,
Not very well phonetically.
the actor who portrays the tattoo man. Yes, he wore a full
What a
bodysuit.
hero.
Ken.
I fucking know.
Has no tattoos of his own. However, the real life tattoo man, also known as, this is what I love, his name was Prince Constantine. Love it. Was genuinely covered from head to toe in tattoos, save for portions of his ears and soles of his feet. Altogether, he had 387 separate tattoos, including exotic animals, geometric shapes, flowers, and writing in various languages. 15, in fact. Like 387 separate tattoos.
That's too many.
That's impressive.
Should have just got one big one.
Yeah.
Well, there's people out there now that have more tattoos than that, but that's modern age. But back then, it was just like, holy shit.
I
Yeah.
got 5 random pizza slices on my ankle. Next
All
one.
separate.
Zendaya actually did all her own trapeze stunts for the film. She was actually praised for this. The you know the scene where Zac Efron and her talk.
Robbed it from Rosie.
No, he didn't.
What? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, for fun.
Robbed it from the internet. Fuck off, cunt.
Yeah.
Plagiarism.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next one you're going to say the same thing as well.
What number are we on?
This is our last one.
Okay.
During the fire scene, some of the special effects got out of hand. And what happened, Ken?
You robbed it from Rosie?
No, the whole set burned down for real. Zac Efron
Yeah.
was actually lucky to get out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, they actually went off. So
We
they kept the filming. It's like, oh, is he okay? I'm going with the old timey.
I was just gonna say, yeah, like
Yeah, keep on
They
filming.
were traditional filmmakers.
To add into Joe's second last fact, the one about ones and they doing her own stunts.
Yeah,
That scene between her and Zac Efron was the first
Get a bit
scene they
closer.
done with each other on set.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And if you look at that scene
He's
and
both need
look
to be
at
in
the
love.
chemistry between the two of them, you would swear they were like with
Yeah.
each other
Mhm.
for years.
because he has such a large boner.
Oh, 100%.
I'd ride the both of them.
Oh,
Oh, I'm telling you, I would not.
Simultaneously.
Oh my god,
Zendaya Zefron sandwich.
she's
Fucking
unreal.
right.
She's unreal.
You
And
don't
like,
you don't
he's unreal.
bias by gender on this podcast, Joe.
No, not
No,
not
absolutely
really. No,
Um,
I would absolutely.
I didn't
tear them
mention
to
I
shreds.
didn't mention it during the actual podcast or when we were discussing the film, but some of the special effects are a little dodge.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
when the little Napoleon man is going around on the horse.
yeah.
That looks awful.
Is his voice dubbed?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Okay,
I was going to
that
add
was
that
very
in,
obvious.
but
The
I
two-
actually wrote it into
We
my
actually
normal
should have
notes.
got fucking Rosie in here for these facts.
The two lions
They could have ad-libbed them a little
that
better.
jump through the fire hoops.
Yeah.
Also kind of terrible looking.
Again, not allowed to use real animals
I know,
anymore.
but
Yeah.
then
The horses were the only real things.
Yeah.
At the start where they were doing like the little dancey trot.
Mhm.
That was it.
and also showing up to the theater or wherever he showed the ballet at the end on the elephant, super impractical. Like, where'd he leave the elephant? Where'd the elephant
it
go
outside.
Yeah.
afterwards? Just stood there waiting.
Yeah.
So
and
The
then
valet takes it and he puts it into the multi-story car park for elephants.
where did he store his hat when he was on his way? In the elephant's trunk.
Yeah.
So the daughter, the daughter that does the ballet,
The tree.
didn't you notice that at the very end?
Oh, yeah, it was great that she was the tree. That was
Oh,
actually
yeah.
fucking hilarious.
That was fucking pathetic.
You have. Oh wait, our other daughter is. That daughter's really talented in that one. You go be the tree, honey.
And she was happy about it. She's an idiot.
She's the
Anyway.
only tree.
No,
So-
she said she wanted it because she wanted to branch out.
Ah.
Leave it.
Oh, I didn't twig
okay.
that joke.
Leave it alone.
Oh, we gotta
Oh,
move
no.
on.
Yeah, I'm barking.
Here, stop
man.
barking, will you?
Bar-
Fuck's sake.
I'm gonna, okay, everyone's getting muted, and I will decide where this goes on the list.
No, you're not going to mute us.
No.
Don't you dare.
Do the
Are we
list?
doing the list? Let's do the list.
I was going to start singing.
Oh, your internet's poop.
Isn't there supposed to be audio here?
do,
Do 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 do.
You know what? You just made the list. Oh no! Oh, here we go.
Get better fucking Wi-Fi.
From now on.
Are you not getting better Wi-Fi soon, kids?
I was meant to be, but I haven't even contacted school yet to tell them to fuck off.
Classic Ken. That's 2Ks.
2Ks.
Yeah.
Classic
2K19.
Ken Keegan.
Any have an idea on this one?
That's true.
Like, let's-
The KKK.
Oh,
no!
there was a slip. There was a slip.
What about the KKK?
Classic Ken Keegan.
Oh.
But now-
3K.
It's his full name on the podcast.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
No.
Oh, I've done it before. I've introduced you as that or something, haven't I?
Yeah,
Anyway.
you have your dick.
All right.
All right, where are we thinking?
I'm going to
Does
go to one
anyone
of you
have a
because this
initial
is where
preference? I don't. This is a difficult placement for me, I think.
I got a feeling it's
69.
Ooh,
Wait, what?
ooh.
We haven't even done 69 films.
Wow, we're
that
just
was
gonna
a joke.
we're just gonna put it at 69, and then in 2 films time we'll
Yeah.
be able to.
Well,
place
one
it.
film time.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
2 films time.
7.
It's nowhere near that high.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
8.
Was that a serious rating? That wasn't a serious rating, was
It
it?
was definitely not taking Die Hard spot.
No.
Good God, no! Like I like this film, but it's not nowhere near that.
Okay, so if I'm looking at films and where they're placed and basing it kind of on where I would maybe watch it again, I would probably I'm looking at the mid to late 30s is a range that I'm down at.
Yeah, I'm.
Sorry.
I like the
Stop
film.
mode. Oh, there we go.
I like the film, but I'm definitely either like it's definitely nowhere below 28. If you get me, it's definitely higher than that.
Higher. Oh, sorry. When you say higher, you mean lower.
Yeah, sorry.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I was
So,
going to trade
like
places
a
with trading places.
Hey.
it is. I was looking at Trading Places, but then I saw Planet of the Apes and Beauty and the Beast below it, and I was like, which one?
Oh, it's much better than Beauty and the Beast. Speaking of, another musical there for you, Mick.
Are you taking the piss? It's
No.
not better than Beauty and the Beast, is it? Do you think so?
I can't choose
I
between the
go
two.
way
Yeah.
over that.
I wouldn't. I don't make.
So
any-
I'm looking.
That's the original.
I definitely
Yeah, I'll
thought
go with that.
I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think I preferred it to Anvil. Like, I like Apollo 13 way more than where it is on this list.
Yeah.
I like
You're
Showman.
the only one.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That
But
was
I'm just
boring.
I like Showman more than
Fact.
Popstar. So to me, it's kind of. I would probably go maybe 34. I'm not a huge fan of National Lampoon's Winter Holiday as it's on our list. But it's actually Christmas Vacation. But again, that Aiden has said that maybe repeat viewings of
I'm
that
telling
are
you,
the
you'll
thing
You'll
that
enjoy that more next
get it
Christmas.
back in. So I can see 34. I can see 35. They're kind of that's where I am. I don't know about you guys.
I'm a 42.
Oh wow. Okay.
Well, you're wrong.
42. Holy crap!
No, in saying that, I'm saying I would go as high as 35. But
Yeah.
I can be persuaded to go lower if there's a
If
consensus.
if there's an exchange of money.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think Halloween got the shaft.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Anyway.
I'd be, in the 30s. I'd be pretty happy with somewhere. I know I'm not going to get that high on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's a better film for me than Popstar.
No.
It's a more complete
It's a
film.
better musical.
What's funny is like, I remember being really down on fucking Blade Runner 2049.
That film is so good, but it's too fucking long. They could, if they trimmed like an hour off that shit.
I know,
it would
yeah.
be great.
Yeah. And because of that, I'm literally looking at it and goes, I would pick Greatest Showman over Blade Runner because I would.
That's
It's just that easier watching.
I would not.
Not the original, I meant
Yeah.
2049.
Oh, no, I know what you meant. I wouldn't either.
I would definitely watch it over Capote.
No, Capote's a great film.
What is it with you and Capote? That is like,
Truman Capote.
I didn't like that film. We would have pushed that down low. We should have.
We should have.
We should have.
Film fucking sucks.
Nightmare on Elm Street is a
Does.
great film. Scream is a pretty good film.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street was actually pretty good.
That's why I'm thinking, like, again, I prefer Showman to Popstar. I would have prefer Apollo 13 to Showman, but I know you guys are down on that, which is why it's below Anvil and National Lampoons.
I liked your original 34.
Mm-hmm. Ken?
24.
24.
You don't know. Do you have the list? Oh, you do have the
No,
list.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
What's
I
on
do.
Yeah, are you
24?
just making up numbers?
No, I want to trade place with trading place.
See, the thing is, it's not going to happen because Young Frankenstein's a better film, Planet of the Apes better film, 28 Days better film, Beauty and the Beast
No.
better film. The cartoon, not the. I've never
My
seen the
place
live
would have
action
been
one.
after Beauty and the Beast if I could, which takes
Blade
the
Runner's a
29th
better
spot,
film,
but
Capote's a better film.
it's not true, but okay.
I think you'll find it is.
It's
Let's
definitely
settle
not.
with 31.
31 takes over Muppets Christmas Carol.
Fuck
Muppets
off.
Christmas Carol is better. It is.
That's a better musical, too.
It is.
I'm beginning to think that my Muppets Christmas Carol is
Yeah,
another
there you
musical
go.
I've seen.
There you go.
You've seen Blade loads, mate.
Yeah, I know.
I like
Seems
34.
five.
34 made sense to me.
Anvil is better. I think, anyway.
Anvil was
Again, they're
great.
two very
There's
different.
nothing wrong with
they're-
Anvil at all. It was
they're-
a very heartwarming
They're
story.
two very different things. Like, how do you
Yeah, I know.
compare a musical, aloof showman thing to
Yeah.
the gritty story of a band that somehow made it, but then somehow didn't?
Fuck me, it's not better than Popstar.
It so is.
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I love
100%
Popstar.
better.
I love Popstar, but
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a better film.
It sounds like the argument here is either 34, 35, or 36.
34.
So-
Middle and go 24.
So is it above? So is it above Lampoon, above Anvil, or above Apollo 13?
Above Lampoon.
Yep.
Above Lampoon, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Above
I
trading
would.
places.
I love the Lampoon films, but the first two are way better than the Christmas or Vegas.
Like, maybe we split the difference between
Put it below
opinions and put it below Lampoon, because Aidan said he'd put it below Anvil as well, and we've
So it would be the
So it
new
would be-
number 35.
it would be Lampoon's, Showman, Anvil.
I can live
So
with that.
35.
Yeah, that's okay.
All
Yeah.
right,
Is that alright?
Ken,
Alright.
is that okay with you?
No.
Which 24?
I've already written it down, so it's fine.
After yous.
Logan is a better film than this one, I tell you that one.
I've
Oh,
not seen it.
yeah, we haven't
Final
watched Logan.
thoughts? Do we?
Final
Uh,
thoughts is we need to watch Logan.
Final thoughts. I completely like. I really
I
always
completely like
like
this film.
I really do, and I like.
I really
Can't
like
really
Tony.
find a problem with it. Well, there's a few things I already discussed, but
I can't find a problem except for the other problems I mentioned in this half of the podcast.
you'd have to go back on the podcast and listen to me.
Yeah.
think,
But like, if
yeah,
you count like it makes point like CGI and stuff like that, what
Mm.
movie doesn't have bad CGI? You're always going to pick something out somewhere
Oh no, of course. I just brought it up as a nitpicky thing
Yeah,
that
well,
I tend
don't.
to do.
because it's
I
a
mean-
fucking great movie.
Shut your
You
fucking
also-
mouth.
you
Cried when that
also
bearded
have
lady
to-
cried.
sometimes spending millions and millions on CGI doesn't always work out in your favor. Isn't that right, Justice League?
You kind of have
Fucking
to. It's
retard.
also a time and place thing. Like we've watched films with like. Okay, we've just put A Nightmare on Elm Street above Showman. That obviously has some way worse effects.
Yeah.
But it's a time and place and a style thing.
Yeah.
I just thought they looked out of place for what the rest of the film was, because the rest of the film had all of these beautifully shot and choreographed scenes. It made the CGI.
Practically, the movie was phenomenal,
Yeah.
but digitally
Yeah.
it failed.
The CGI stands out more because of
It's
how
bad.
visually good the rest of the film
Yeah.
is.
Right.
That's
Even
kind of what I
remember
was
Yeah,
getting.
remember
that's
when
one
we
thing
were
I'll take
looking
away
at it,
from
the
it.
train
Film.
scene when he jumps on the train to go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How bad that looked.
Oh yeah, it was
It was
when he
terrible.
jumped on the
It
CGI
looked
train
like
at the
Thomas
end.
the
Yeah.
Tank Engine.
There's got to be a
Have you
reason
watched
behind
Thomas the
that.
Tank Engine recently?
Yeah,
He's
look,
fucking
It's
weird.
awful.
That scene.
Awful.
Full CGI is
And they're
awful.
freaky looking.
It's still Bingo. Or
Doesn't
Bingo,
even
Ringo.
have
It's
that
still
song
Ringo.
anymore.
What?
No.
It's still Ringo.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
Ringo Starr?
We need you
Yeah.
to
Has a
do a
terrible
remix
accent.
for the new one.
I don't know where to look.
I didn't know where to look.
I thought that impression was bloody awful. Just
Do
so
we
much more
want to
to-
rock into part? Like, are
Oh,
we
the-
finished on that? Well, fine.
Are
Sorry,
we?
we didn't really get to final thoughts.
Yeah.
It was,
You two.
They were
Yeah.
kind of final thoughts.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, so it's just you.
it was sorry.
I'll watch it again soon, probably,
Yeah.
because Adele loves it, so I'm up for watching it again.
Yeah,
She'll-
Adele will not say no to watching that again.
if she doesn't get the vinyl, I
Mm.
probably will get the vinyl for her at some point.
Yeah.
So that will probably make me want to watch it again.
Spoilers.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean,
have a Greatest Showman vinyl party.
It's a perfectly enjoyable
If you want
film,
to.
and it's actually the first time in weeks that Jess has watched the podcast film with me, because
Yeah.
she'd never seen it and was sitting in the kitchen doing something, and she was listening to the songs, and then came in, sat down. I was like, I'm hearing it anyway, so I might as well watch it. But then she stayed.
Rosie, actually.
That's one thing I'll take away from it. I always love I don't know if you guys do, but if I'm doing something or cleaning up or doing anything, like just do you put background films on? Ones you can
Sometimes.
always
I can't
rely
put
on to not.
podcasts.
Ones that
Yeah.
I've seen a lot, yeah.
I
sometimes.
find Greatest Showman would be a fantastic background film as you walk by, and like, or if you're doing washing dishes or
So-
fucking
Actually, I'm
anything.
surprised with where we work. It has not been on the tellies repeatedly.
Because we're sponsored by Sony, so it's got to be Sony films.
Oh, that's weird.
That's the electrical.
listen,
department.
we
We
got-
got to
Anywho.
part two.
Yeah, the
That's
TVs.
it. We'll
Let's do
discuss all that off, Mike.
All right.
Join us on part 2 for a discussion on 2017, a year on film. And welcome to part 2 of Preachin' and Preacher at the Movies. Our question of the week this week is 2017, a year in film. But first, before we get to that,
Ooh, a new segment,
a new feature which we tested out last week.
and it wasn't a monumental failure. So
It wasn't a total failure, no. It seemed enjoyable, at least for us anyway, so we're going to do it again. So,
isn't that what this entire podcast is about?
yeah, just it's all about us.
Let's try new things.
Yeah.
Not
So,
doing stuff that makes us happy.
yeah, exactly.
That's true. That is true.
So, movie news. I have
Oh.
a couple of things to talk about.
Do we need to get a new stinger for the movie news?
That'd be
Oh,
good.
we might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be good.
News of today.
If you-
Today.
If you could dust off something somewhere for free. Pop it in there.
Good old free music. You didn't like those news?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh.
Some, like, proper newscast type
Scandal
thing. Or something.
today in downtown Hollywood.
If you get some for next
No, it's
week,
just saying.
that'd be amazing. Okay, so first of all, we're going to have to talk about Luke Perry. Luke Perry passed away.
Luke Perry, yeah.
He was 52. I believe it was from a stroke, or complications from a stroke, I think.
He had a stroke, from what I seen Sunday night.
Yeah.
And then Monday, while in hospital, suffered a massive stroke again in the hospital. From what
Yeah.
I've read.
It's horrible. He was only 52.
Horrible way to go.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a whole lot, but I did love Beverly Hills 90210 when I was a child. I
See,
always watched that shit.
I didn't.
I did not
I
watch
loved
one
it,
bit of that.
But
Luke Perry for me he was
Sideshow
Sideshow
Luke
Luke
Perry.
Perry
Yeah.
in The Simpsons.
yeah, there's that as well. Everyone knows him from that from our generation, certainly.
Where he gets in
But
a
I-
fight with Sideshow Mel.
I
I
think
watched the shit out of 90210. I love that. And no, I don't know how well that holds up today. Maybe
I
not so
imagine
well,
not
but
much.
I really loved that a lot at the time.
I think I've always just known him as the guy who was apparently too old to play a high schooler, but played a high schooler.
Yeah.
That's kind of the running joke of
Yeah.
that.
It's kind of like every character in Greece.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing in Hollywood for a long time. So they made
Nicky looks about 60.
like we mentioned this before we came back for part 2, but like, do you know that whole we were talking about Scary Movie. They make that
Yeah.
they make that literal joke. It's like, oh, imagine if they made a movie of this. They'd probably hire a bunch of mid-20 or 30-somethings to play us as if they're in high school. But yeah, but that's just, he was only 52, and that's very fucking sad. And also, I'd
Yeah.
like to mention that Keith Flint from The Prodigy passed away as well. Now, that's nothing to do with movies, but I don't know, like, for a lot of people, myself
We'll allow
included, for a lot of people, myself included, like, The Prodigy were nothing short of fucking iconic. And, like, I love, not a lot of their recent stuff, I'll be honest, but Fan of the Land and The Prodigy Experience in particular, those two albums are fucking huge for me. Especially the Fan of the Land. Fan of the Land would definitely be my top 20 favourite albums of all time, I would say.
They
I
were one of
love
the
that album.
primary reasons I bought a PlayStation.
Really, why?
Because Firestarter was featured in the first Wipeout game
Yeah.
as like a soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I remember loving that song and sitting down in front of, like, watching Top of the Pops as you did when you were in the
Good old
mid-90s.
Top of the Pops.
And waiting
Yeah.
for that Firestarter video to come on because
Yeah.
it was just such a cool, different song to what I'd
Such a
listened to
weird
before. Yeah.
video.
And they're
Mad
not a
video,
band
yeah.
that I would have followed too much
Yeah.
into it. But then it's like something like this happens, and it kind of makes you go back and listen to some of the stuff. They're like, that's a Prodigy song.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a Prodigy song.
Yeah.
They have so many songs where it's just, unless you know the band, it's like you know the song, but you don't know it's them.
And I mean, like, well, like some of the later albums mightn't have been for me. It is worth saying that, like, so
Day Is My Enemy is a great tune.
yeah, and
I know that's one of the more modern ones.
which brings me to my next point.
Good
Which
old Kings of the
like,
North.
Yeah.
Right there.
yeah, like the first Prodigy album's called Prodigy Experience. That didn't get to number 1 in the UK, but every album after that got to number 1, including the album from only last year,
Oh wow.
number 1 in the UK.
I
So
didn't
they
know that.
remained super popular
Mhm.
and super like successful and an arena packing band. And I would have loved to. I hadn't seen them in about 9 years or something like that. I would have loved to go and see the show again because they, looking at the live album they released from like a year or two ago, they still like put a lot of the old stuff in there as well. So anyway, that's so. Rest in peace Keith Flint and rest in peace Luke Perry, because that's way, way too young. And it was suicide as well with Keith Flint as well, by the way.
Always
So
worth
that's-
mentioning if you are feeling those kind of things, reach
Yeah.
out, talk to your friends or
Talk to
your
the
peers, or
Samaritans,
talk to somebody.
talk to somebody for fuck's sake, because it's
Yeah.
I mean, here's a dude who seemed to have kind of everything in
Mhm.
terms of success and stuff like that. And I remember like my manager at work said he used to work in the airport and he'd met Keith Flint a few times. I was like, oh really? What was he like? He's like, really nice dude, mad heading him, really nice dude, which I quite liked. Apparently, like he was I read in Rick was like he was the sort of guy that like I can't remember which musician said it. But he's the sort of guy that like as a front man, he was fucking terrifying. Like he'd scare the shit out of your parents, but off stage, nicest guy in the world. But anyway,
happens too often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really does. 49 for Keith Flint and 52
Becoming
for
a
Luke Perry is
trend
too young.
these days in music, unfortunately.
Yeah, very much so. On a lighter note, my next bit of news is on Ghostbusters. So apparently,
That teaser that they did at was it Super Bowl? No,
whatever it was, it
There
looked
was a teaser.
that was fucking fantastic.
that was a very
Yeah.
good teaser.
You wouldn't
know.
even known up until the last 3 seconds that it was
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Oh, there's
I don't
little,
think-
little bits of Ernie. What's his name? Ernie something. His score. Ernie, is it Bernstein or something like that?
Yeah, you can hear that
You
kind
can hear
of
there's like-
crackle and
It's like,
thing.
oh shit, is that Ghostbusters? And then you see the
tarp
sheet.
in an old shed,
Yeah.
and it goes up a tiny bit, and you see the back of the car,
Yeah.
and then it zooms back out, and then all you hear is the
proton
the
pack.
proton
proton pack.
Oh,
It's
I'm
just like, oh shit.
saying that stuff. It sounds like I've seen it, but I can't remember it.
Yeah.
Shocking, I can't
What
remember
about
something.
Ghostbusters? Is there any
So,
more news?
Yeah, there's news on casting. So
Oh.
actual plot details of Reitman and Gil Keenan's script remain scant. This is from Empire Online, by the way.
That'll be kept
um,
quiet, I
But
imagine.
yeah, absolutely, and I hope it stays quiet.
Same.
But the film will be set in the original Ghostbusters universe for a story set in after 1989's Ghostbusters 2. So Carrie Coon and Finn Wolfhard are in talks to play characters in it. So Carrie Coon, I only know her from Fargo. She's
Oh, okay.
excellent in Fargo. She plays a cop.
TV show or
in
film?
The TV show. I want to say she's in season 2. I can't remember. It's either season 2 or 3, I think. But anyway, she's excellent in it. So she's going to be a single mother with connections to the characters, and Finn Wolfhard is taking the role of her son. So
Okay.
that's
That
what
could
they're
be
saying. Anyway.
the wife of one of the Busters, maybe?
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly, and his son.
But I mean, like it's
which
we're,
one?
I don't know, but we're March 2019 now, and it's supposed to be like July 2020 release. So
Right.
Want to get a move on?
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
My next bit of movie news, just about. I'm sure you've all heard about this. Steven Spielberg and his
Heard of
attitude about Netflix and stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
I read
man.
that. Yeah.
I can see, like, for people that don't know, so Steven Spielberg is on the Academy's board of
Who's he?
governors. Yeah, this is according
Never
to
heard of him.
Never heard
Never
of
heard of her.
just this lifter from DigitalSpy.com.
Jurassic Park or something?
So no, it's Billy and the Clonosaurus actually. But so DigitalSpy.com say Spielberg is on. If you laugh on laugh on Mike, by the way, it works a lot better for my joke. Just to put, you always do that. It's always like
I
Mike.
had Coke in my mouth.
Yeah.
I was like,
You had cock in your mouth. Well, that's not my fault, Joe.
No, Coke is meant to go in your mouth. Unless you rub
Up
it on
your
gums.
nose.
You know what I mean?
That's gonna turn out real well on the
Fucking
audio.
disgusting.
So Spielberg,
I like that.
Spielberg's on the Academy's board of directors
Yes.
alongside representatives from upcoming various branches of filmmakers and stuff like that. At the upcoming Oscars or post-Oscars meeting, he wants to bring up Netflix's eligibility for Oscars. Quote from an ambulance spokesperson: Stephen feels strongly about the difference between the streaming and theatrical situation. he'll be happy if others join his campaign. When that comes up at the Academy's board of directors meeting, he'll see what happens. So he's against Netflix being eligible for Oscars.
Yeah, he's trying to do that whole thing of, well, the film hasn't been released in cinema, then why should it be eligible for the Oscars?
I can see both sides of
I
this
can
one.
see both sides, but most of my thing is, like, no matter what, if it's not released in a cinema style thing, it's still a fucking film.
It's
and
still
I've
a
seen
movie.
some phenomenal Netflix
Yeah, but
films.
made-for-TV films don't get included in the Oscars.
But it's not
Which is
made
where
for
the other side
TV.
lies, yeah.
Yeah, like my understanding
Really?
of the
It's a
rule.
pay-per-view.
They have to have
It's
a
My
not
cinematic
understanding
release.
is the rule. There has to be some kind of theatrical release.
That's probably
for it.
why
And
Netflix is starting to do that. 'Cause
Yeah, they
their
do
first
the
film is
very
this year.
limited theatrical releases to get onto the
Literally
Oscar.
the Academy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one because the argument can be made that it's gonna be more popular and they have a bigger budget or marketing budget because they're already in a lot of homes.
Yeah.
Whereas going to the cinema now is kind of you have to make the time to go to
Yeah,
the cinema. It's not
exactly,
just
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree, yeah.
And for people in say country towns that wouldn't be
don't have a cinema.
wouldn't be nearby to a cinema even.
That
there's
was the
as well.
reply from Netflix, wasn't
Yeah.
it? It was
Yeah,
like, some
yeah,
people
they said
don't
something
have
like
a
that.
cinema near
Their
them.
reply
Like,
was very good. It was like
it was
people,
very well
people
worded.
who can't afford to go to the cinema, or people who don't have a cinema near them,
Yeah.
or people who just want to relax at home and enjoy
Okay.
a good film.
I'm after finding the official criteria for what it takes to be nominated for, say, a Best Picture Oscar.
That's good.
So must
Firstly,
have
you
a
have to be good.
yeah,
Has to be a good film.
must have a
fatal
running
deviation.
length of more than 40 minutes.
Oh,
Okay,
I
so
didn't.
I never knew that. Okay.
Makes
have been
sense.
exhibited theatrically on 35mm or 70mm film or a qualifying digital format.
I think they had limited
Oh.
runs. I think Roma had a limited
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
So
That's
something
how
like
it's
that.
qualified.
Well, see,
yeah.
or qualifying digital format then.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think by qualifying digital format, it's because that means 35mm or 70mm film would be a film reel, but most cinemas now are digital.
yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's whatever the
Um,
digital equivalent for cinema is.
So that digital literally opened up the thing for Netflix to be like, hey, yeah.
Well, no, because they still need to go to it still needs to be a theatrical release.
Is that in the...
That's here.
Oh, okay.
I
didn't know that.
Whereas it must be open for commercial theatre for paid admission in Los Angeles County between January 1st, midnight, December 31st.
I didn't
a
know
run
the-
for in Los Angeles County.
Yeah,
so
I didn't know it had to be an LA
Yeah.
thing.
A run for 7 consecutive days, at least 3 screenings per day. One of which needs to be between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m.
It's
Jeez.
very weird.
Yeah.
Very,
criteria.
like, that
On the
kinda-
second consecutive Tuesday of every month
Yeah.
with a full moon, and Margaret has to see the wind and has to see her own shadow.
Yeah.
It's like the Groundhog Day.
It's
Be sufficiently advertised in LA media.
I despise
bit
wording
unfair.
like that. Like who decides
Sufficiently.
what's sufficient?
So vague,
means?
isn't it?
Does it have to be like 5 ads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like is 5 ads
more?
Do
sufficient?
you know what I
Yeah.
bet you it comes down to is how much you spend on it. I bet
Probably,
you
yeah.
anything
The
it's
entire
how much you
Oscars
spent
is-
on the
No,
market.
I don't see anything got to do with money. But the film that received a first public exhibition or distribution in any manner other than as a theatrical motion picture release
Yeah.
are not eligible for an Academy Award in any category.
Yeah.
So if it's not, as you were saying with Netflix, if it's not digitally produced, or public exhibition or distribution of any manner.
Yeah.
Could I-
Okay, so it's in their rules. It's not like it's going too far out of...
But
But look,
that's-
we'll,
that's-
we'll,
not going too
we'll
far
see
out.
how it shakes out. Anyway,
Yeah,
right?
we'll check
Alright.
back in on this one
Yeah,
when
definitely.
they have their meeting in
There
April.
is
That's a good
unofficial
debate.
rules and traditions, and then voting numbers and nominees.
Yeah.
So there has to be like a specific amount of votes for it for an Academy
Yeah.
Mhm.
to be up for an Academy Award.
I do have 2 tiny other little bits
Yeah.
of news,
Alright.
if that's cool. I didn't even know about this, but there's a
Did you hear
TV...
this? You know about this?
Did you hear this?
Oh,
Did
that
it-
could
did
be
it-
your
oh, you
new
gotta
little
be
news
kidding me.
segment.
Seth Rogen... There's news about Seth Rogen. There's a Twilight Zone TV series being remade. And
Yes.
Twilight.
The
Twilight
Twilight
Zone.
Zone.
Oh, Twilight Zone.
Next month it's coming out. It's being made by Jordan Peele.
Yeah.
And Seth Rogen's going to be in at least one of the episodes. Now, I've
Oh,
never
that's
seen
cool.
Twilight Zone, but from what I've read and what I've heard, it's Black Mirror is kind of our generation's Twilight Zone. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out and
Yeah.
to see Rogen in a serious role. And then the other tiny little bit of news I have,
You've entered the scary door.
the scary door. You ask a passerby for directions, or to find he has no face or something. Anyway, let's move on to one last tiny bit of
Yep.
news.
Go on.
RST video is being replaced by a DVD machine in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, Kevin Smith's new thing. The reason I bring that up, so
I thought you were actually talking about the shop.
that's what I'm talking about. So RST video is being replaced by a
the
DVD
red
machine.
box.
Yeah, the
I
red
saw
Oh,
box.
just
yeah.
the
Twitter
DVD
about
machine?
it.
That's so clever.
So that
I've seen
might
that on Twitter.
that might be how they write out Randall of the thing.
Is he
possibly.
still not doing it?
I don't think so. I'd imagine no, because he said no to Clerks 3 eventually.
Yeah.
He said yes, and then
Fuck's
he changed his
sake,
mind and
man.
said no.
What's
So-
the point? It's not...
Brian O'Halloran's going to be in it as Dante, but
Awesome.
So
but Jeff Anderson will not be in it.
I seen Kevin Smith tweeted them being like, I don't know if you'd be interested in this, but it's a bit of free promotion.
Yeah,
for
they
us.
said,
And they were like, oh, we're not sure we'd be into it, but DM us anyway and we'll have a chat.
yeah,
Is
exactly.
your one Dawson?
Twitter, where jobs
Rosario
get
Dawson
done.
up for it?
It's the real
Is
space.
she going to be in it with Dante?
Rosario, I have no idea.
Oh, that'd be nice if
I
she was.
don't know. She loved making that film anyway, so but we'll see.
She talks every time in interviews about it. Goes, I loved that,
Yeah.
everything about it.
She said yes based on the Donkey Show alone. But anyway,
The donkey.
seriously, I'm not joking. That's what sold. She was like, when she read that part, she's like, yeah, I'm in.
Rosario Dawson, bestiality fan.
Yeah,
You see
clearly.
There we go.
So that's the news for this week.
Shit, it's the
Done.
cops. Better finish.
I don't think he's going to jerk off, sir. Anyway,
There's a weekly question to be answered.
There is indeed.
Yeah.
This a year in film, 2017.
Mhm.
yeah.
It's quite shy, to be fair.
2017.
Yeah.
Was it?
For a second, I was thinking that I was all right. I'm gonna look up everything about 2017 in movies, see what
I
happened.
heard the Greatest Showman
like-
came out that year.
It
Hence
did.
why we're doing 2017.
The first
Oh,
thing
is
that popped
that
up for me
why?
in movies was a million headlines on that year with Moonlight winning the Oscar for Best Picture.
Was that
Was
the
that the-
Moonlight, La La Land?
Yeah, the whole fiasco.
Oh, sorry. I was
behind-
thinking of Moon, the
all
David
that.
Bowie's Duncan Jones.
And I was
thing.
like, cool, I've never seen that film. So if that was the best picture of the year, did we any of us actually see it?
No.
yes,
Hey, you're a
Oh,
freak, though.
Okay. You actually watched it.
I did. Yeah.
No.
Well, Aiden watches them all every year.
I watched La La Land, the real winners.
Wait, did I watch? Oh, hang on.
The
No,
original.
I didn't see that one. Sorry.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I believe I watched most that year, but I didn't watch that one. Fuck.
Moonlight. That was the variation movie you watched of Moonlight.
Spotlight is the
wasn't
fucking thing I was thinking of. Sorry.
Ah, okay.
I was thinking
yeah.
of Downlight.
it? I was thinking of Moonlighting, but
They're what's in my kitchen.
What, the Bruce Willis thing?
No, the porno.
Oh, good times.
Bruce Willis done a porno?
Fucking love to see it.
Yeah, I'd watch that shit.
Apparently, he
I'd
has a
watch
huge
that.
cock, so I'd watch that as well.
There we go. Of course he does.
If he doesn't
How
throw
big
in
is it?
Die Hard,
Yes.
We do a segment on the podcast instead of like Liam Neeson's cock. We
It's
do
Bruce
like
Willis.
Bruce Willis cock.
Yeah.
No,
How
we
big is
we
it?
can't ape any more features from other popular podcasts.
Whew, no,
Yeah.
no,
we
we
tried to
better
fit
not.
Bruce Willis' penis into this podcast. We would run out of time. Is that a good way to start? No. Okay.
No, probably not. So I made a list of all must be about 20 films
Okay.
that were kind of the highlight of the year. And from looking at it, even reading out, it's going to be weird. So Jordan Peele done Get Out that year.
Okay,
And
that's
I
the.
still haven't seen
Yeah,
that.
I've not
And
seen
it
it.
really irritates the shit out of me because it's actually
Tis
up
on
there.
Netflix at the minute.
Is it?
I believe so.
I didn't like it that much.
Did you not?
No, I didn't. I thought it was widely overrated. And I didn't get it. Like everyone's like talking it up like it was one of the best horror films in years and stuff. And like,
Do you think that's why you probably didn't like it as much
Possibly,
as others?
yeah.
Like
I
it
mean,
kinda
that happened to me with-
impacted-
I've said this before. That happened to me with Superbad and stuff like that. It was just
Mm.
hyped up so much. I was just like, when I saw it, but then I loved it later on repeat viewings. So, yeah, I don't know. This though, what the fuck else is it? Sorry, keep talking.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something else.
No,
Well,
keep talking. I'm just trying to find out what else
A
was
couple
in
of
the
others.
awards
It was
that
a
year.
huge year for, again, this is becoming
Huge.
a very popular thing in when we list a year now in the last at least 10 years. Comic book films are just literally jumping off the page.
What were
Yeah.
2017's big comic book films?
Logan.
Okay. Still have to see that.
Excellent film.
Wonder Woman. We
Still
had
have to
great.
see that.
Thor Ragnarok.
That
Excellent.
was fantastic.
That was
Yeah.
2017. I thought that was only
2017.
last year.
I thought it was only
Yeah.
last year as well. When
Yeah.
I was like, is Thor Ragnarok that year?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
excellent.
mad.
That's fantastic. You had Jejustice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely
I haven't seen it.
awful.
I've heard.
DC
yeah.
need to get off it. We've
Heard
talked
the
about
CGI
it
is
before.
great.
But holy,
Callbacks.
No, do you know, I actually fell asleep twice watching that movie.
Really?
Is it that
so
bad?
So fucking bad. I couldn't
Suicide
get through.
Squad was 2017.
It was
wasn't
very disappointing.
Yeah, that was
to me.
shy as well. Or
Hey,
mediocre.
Oscar-winning Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Oh, for makeup and effects.
yeah.
Fuck that.
Fuck
That's my. I watched that Oscars.
Did
and
you
it still
see?
pisses me off.
Holla back to news. Will Smith backed out of Suicide Squad too.
Did he?
Good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Why?
Don't know. I didn't read the article. I just saw the
He
headline.
said he'd rather die hard.
They're going. They're going ahead.
What?
They're going ahead
Than
with
be in
Birds
the
of
movie.
Prey.
He'd
aren't they?
rather die hard. Aiden got it. You
Yeah.
just need a sense of humour, Mick.
Yeah.
Get one for Christmas.
They're going ahead with Birds of Prey anyway, aren't they?
Birds of Prey.
Flying high.
Birds of Prey is the movie they're giving. It's a women's only kind of Justice League.
Oh, for God's sake.
So it'll have.
It was full of women already.
They're doing
It's a heavy mods in it.
Black Canary,
Justice
White
League,
Canary.
Yeah.
Who was aside from Wonder Woman?
Ben Affleck.
He's gone
He
now.
acts like he has a vagina.
He's also officially out of the role.
Yeah.
And they're done with
For
that.
for Justice League?
Batman.
I know for
He's-
Batman, but I didn't think for Justice
He'd
League.
be gone for
Yeah, he's
all.
gone fully
Flash
from
was
the
a
role.
load of shite.
Flash is still on hiatus. They still can't get it together.
Good.
Like at all.
It's no itis.
Anyway, the other one we got
I don't know.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Still have to see that.
Oh.
This
Have
is
you
just
seen
a list.
anything? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
This is just a list of films I've just not
This is
seen. Yeah.
Like Guardians of
most
the Galaxy
lists.
Volume 2.
I have seen that one.
Okay.
Well fucking done.
Uh-huh.
Fucking fantastic.
One out of what, 8 that you've mentioned?
Yeah.
No, I've
that
seen
was-
Thor
yeah.
Ragnarok too.
A
One-
big swinging Mickey. It's not enough.
One that's a comic, but
I
not
have
many
a
people
son
know.
since that year. I don't get to watch films.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, I'm so
Wait.
fucking bored.
You have a son?
Uh-huh.
It's been a while.
Oh, just
Been a
moving
while.
on. What else is in there?
The last one is Kingsman 2, which is
I haven't seen that yet, still.
I still have to
comic.
see the original, but I hear they're
Oh
good.
my God.
Another comic.
I hear
They're
they're.
both
Was that a
amazing.
comic or a book?
You are
a
a
comic.
horrible
It was a
person.
comic.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kingsman
I
is
wasn't
based
sure.
on a comic.
Technically.
That's
Um,
what. That's a weird one because I saw the film and it's who's your man? That's the main guy in it. It's
You got Tegan Egberton. Is that
Oh,
his
is
name?
it not
Eggsy,
like-
mate. It's fucking Eggsy.
not him.
He's
Sorry, when I say
playing-
the main guy, there's the British actors that's in it.
Colin Firth.
Colin
Yeah.
Firth. Colin
I
Firth
saw
is
that.
fucking phenomenal.
I saw that and I thought, is this going to be another one of the Colin Firth?
Oh God, you were thinking it
I
was
saw-
like Pride and Prejudice.
I
or
literally
some
saw
shit.
Kingsman.
He's not
I
in
saw
that,
Colin
isn't he?
Firth and I was like, this is going to be some kind of Victorian biopic.
Wow.
It's only
He does like 2 Victorian biopic films, and
And
he's
he's
labeled.
typecast,
like, no, he's
I
fucking
literally
phenomenal.
didn't look
Samuel was great in it
anything
as
into
Thank
that
God
film.
that. Thank God that was successful. No thanks to you, mate.
No, thanks to me.
Christ.
I think I probably thought up until fairly recently that they were still Victorian biopics.
Oh my God.
And not some kind of comic book thing.
There's
I think
a-
I saw the trailer for Kingsman 2
The
and he
Golden
was running
Circle.
on the bus with a gun and I was like, gee, okay, that's
That
not
doesn't look
Victorian
like
then.
Victorian.
There's no truth in this art.
There's one scene in a church
Watch
with
out
him
for the
in
Camp
the
Victoria,
first
Queen
one,
Victoria.
Oh my God,
and
so good.
Colin Firth is like the Bond we deserve.
Mm,
You
I
know,
would
he's
agree
that
with that,
kind
yeah.
Daniel Craig is a good James Bond.
He is good, but he's one left.
Idris Elba's going to
Sorry,
be better.
Mark?
You mean Idris?
I don't think they'll do it.
Him as well.
If they do it, I'd be really, really
That's a
pissed off.
stunt man.
That's a good question. If they did,
What?
Idris Elba got the James Bond role, would you be happy?
Idris.
Yeah.
I
From the
wouldn't
north
care if they made a good film.
Oh, I'd be really pissed off.
Why?
You call him Idris.
It's not
I
the
call
Bond
him
from the
Idris.
page.
So, Joe, did you
Why? It
really
enjoy
irritates me.
the female rendition of Ghostbusters?
It was all right.
Was that that?
So
That was
there you
2016.
go.
my
Yeah, but they're
That
not-
was wrote as male leads.
It is, yeah.
They're
But it's also
changing
the
it up.
reason why they're
Move
never
with the time. Stop being
giving it a
racist.
sequel. It's not a racist thing.
It is.
I am
actually-
not
Say
being
that Bond
racist.
can only be a white man.
Yes.
It was
That's racist.
No. That is completely like, all right, fine. Would a black Harry Potter make
I
sense?
couldn't care once the story's good.
It's not the way he's written.
Doesn't matter.
Did they ever mention Harry Potter's race in the books?
Yes.
No, I don't think so.
He's definitely white.
Harry took his pasty white horse onto the Hogwarts Express.
I don't think they did.
In
I
regards
just-
in regards to
not-
the James Bond thing, I
Yeah.
heard a very good kind of explanation for
Zac
that.
Efron.
No, in that
Oh,
James
sorry.
Bond, the name is
Yeah, I heard
like a
this. I
code
heard this.
name.
It's the code
So it's
name
not the
given.
actual person's name.
Mhm.
So that's how you can explain away so many people being James Bond.
Yeah.
It's that no,
Yeah.
they're all just Secret Service agents, and
Yeah.
their like
It's like when they
moniker
replaced
is James
G.
Bond.
They brought
yeah.
it in the last
Exactly,
film.
yeah.
And stuff.
It was mentioned in the last film.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking it was like
all the
how many
bonds before you and stuff.
how many have held my title or
Mhm.
something like that. He says it's like
Actually, my name's Frank.
He's no Trevelyan.
I love the way that came up.
For
There's-
England, James.
I'm going to mention another film and see if Mick has actually seen it.
Probably not.
Probably not. No,
You saw the new Beauty and the Beast?
Nope.
That was that year as well.
you're a real fucking.
We got that. I think Emma Watson
That's
jumping
good.
onto the screen.
That's good.
I liked it.
I liked it. Yeah.
Joe, what's the name of the next song? Or next
Song?
song? What the hell am I talking about?
Well, lucky enough, because we reviewed it, Blade Runner 2049.
I
came
have
out in
seen Blade Runner
2017.
2049.
Yeah, because we forced you to.
because you literally had to sit down and
Christ.
watch it.
Shouldn't have watched it though. We're shy.
It was great.
It's not shy. It's just too long, isn't it? Do you
yeah,
think it's shy,
I
Ken?
think we have
I think
come
it's
to the
visually
conclusion of
stunning,
that.
but
Yeah,
a
really
bit
beautiful.
weird.
But it was so dragged out.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait till was it 2
Like,
hours and
I could
45 or
have
something?
watched the original twice in the time that movie ran.
Oh no, the original was long, but it was only 2
It
hours.
wasn't that.
They
the
gave it
original was
an
90
extra
minutes,
40.
I think.
No, it
Was
wasn't 90
Wasn't
minutes. No, it was 2 hours,
It was
definitely.
2 hours.
Oh.
Recording,
They-
happy days. Hello,
Beautiful.
video.
Yeah.
They gave nearly 3 hours for this film. And I think they just kind of dragged that out way too much.
Yeah, 117 minutes, Blade Runner, the
Oh,
first one.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that the final
Um,
cut?
I don't know, actually. Well, the final
Fucking
cut,
hope
like,
Final cut will be longer.
yeah.
Anyway,
one of your favourite from that year, It.
I saw that too.
Yeah,
Also
again,
for the
because we
podcast.
forced you.
Everybody mix off film.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Mix off film.
Well,
you
fucking
fucking sucked
Mix
the
off
dick
film?
at that film.
It was
we have a
excellent.
new
yeah,
one.
it was
You
really
you
good.
absolutely sucked the dick at that film.
I mean, it was Stand By Me with a clown instead of a body. It was great. What's
Yeah.
not to love? Like
I want to
I'm
rewatch
still
that, and I'm
shocked by the
tempted to read
talent.
the book.
the
Don't
book
get
is
around the movie.
no, the book's really good. It's just too long.
I've heard that, and I've also heard that there's a scene in the book that
Yes, there is.
people are very
Yes.
gracious that they left out of the film.
Yep.
Oh
God.
yeah, I think we discussed that off camera before.
Oh, the child
I
sex scene
remember.
orgy, you mean? Yeah, it's horrible.
Oh, okay,
It's
we're just going to
horrible.
talk about it. All
yeah,
right. All right,
it's just
bring it
so
out.
unnecessary and fucking weird.
Stephen King, very odd guy.
Yeah,
Yep.
clearly, based on that, he's an odd cunt. But great writer. In
To be
spite of
able to
that,
come up with that, yeah. I'm
So
not
much
trying to go there.
range with his
Yeah.
films, like that. You look like, oh yeah, I did It, but I also did
Shawshank Redemption
Yeah.
Redemption.
and Stand By Me.
and The Green Mile.
Yeah.
Stand by me thing.
Stand By Me, yeah, it's
And
based
the
on
Green
the body.
Mile.
Green
Like,
Mile.
by the way,
fucking fantastic
Fun
movie.
fact, I haven't seen that one, but the
You've
body.
not seen The Green Mile?
You've actually
Mick,
there's a
don't even
movie you
start.
haven't
You've listed
seen.
about 10
You've
films.
not seen The Green Jesus.
There's actually a movie that Mick has seen that you
Yeah.
haven't.
The Shawshank Redemption is a short novel, and it's part of like four short novels that are in one book.
Mm.
One of them is Shawshank Redemption. Another one is Stand By Me, and there's two more. One of them is amazing. It's about, I can't remember the fourth one at all. I have no memory of it. But the other one is called Apt Pupil, and it's about this teenager that finds out that there's a former Nazi living in his neighborhood. And
Unreal.
He goes and blackmails him and stuff, and basically like makes him tell him stories of the war and stuff, and he ends up fucking up his head and stuff. I just remember at one point he goes home, like on his way home, he kills a homeless guy and carves a pumpkin on his face and all this. It's the weirdest, most fucked up thing, but in the best way. It's amazing, and it was made into a film with Ian McKellen as the Nazi, which I haven't seen properly, but yeah.
What's it called?
Um,
Apt Pupil?
Apt Pupil.
Oh, Apt Pupil.
See that?
Yeah.
I've read quite a bit of Stephen King. I actually enjoy his novels. The film takes on them are either really good, in the case of Shawshank, or The Green Mile, or quite bad, which
Children of the Corn.
I've not seen that.
Yeah.
There's
I seen
another
that
one.
years ago, randomly
Shite.
at Halloween. Is
Yeah,
that what it
same.
is?
I think so. Yeah.
I'm gonna
It's an awful
blank
film.
on the name of it, but it was about like
The Shining.
no, it was about aliens.
It.
Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher,
Oh, shit,
good
yeah.
book. Middling to bad film.
I don't think I've seen that film actually. That's you're a Blade Runner.
I think
or you're a Stephen King fan.
yeah, I'm gonna try and read. I haven't read The Stand yet. I want to read The Stand. I've heard it's very good, but also very long.
Do you think it stands up?
Amongst
the rest of his work?
Please just sit down.
I have sitting down.
Right. Another one
Yeah.
from that year, which we also reviewed, Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shy.
that baby driver.
I'm a little shocked that they're making a second.
Are they actually making a second?
Yeah, he finished the
Teenage driver.
script.
Mm.
He's on the second draft.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's Edgar Wright, so I'll trust him because like
He's earned it.
he's fucking amazing.
yeah,
like,
he's earned it at this stage. But
he hasn't made a bad film yet, so
a sequel. I don't think that film needs a sequel.
it doesn't. No.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver doesn't need a sequel.
If he has a story to tell, I'll trust him on this one. And
You think there's a story there to tell?
What could he?
if Edgar Wright thinks there's a story to tell,
What
then
could he do?
I don't know. But
That's the question.
that
Is
is
it
the
just
question.
gonna
Question of the
be-
week: what could he do?
What could he do with Baby
I don't know,
Driver
man.
2?
But
Electric Boogaloo.
but I mean, look at his previous films: Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, The World's End,
Not sequels.
Scott Pilgrim, and Baby Driver. All 5 of those films.
What's
gonna
the
be? Are
difference
amazing.
between all of the diehards apart from the location? Thank you.
I
what's
can't
the
answer.
point?
I can't answer 2. 3 is very different,
Yeah.
and that's the last one.
But it's the same action movie over. I fucking love every single one of them, and I don't give a shit. But
It's not
It's-
really.
Terrorists take over thing. Terrorists take over an airport. Terrorists take over New York. Terrorists take over DC.
Well, the first.
I see the.
See what I know?
I see what you mean.
but if he was to do the same, is this Baby Driver going to turn into the Fast
Are you
and
s-
the Furious?
Are you saying it's
call
going
it-
to be Baby Driver 2, Baby Driver?
Yeah,
Oh, for
No,
God's
it'll be
sake.
Teen Driver.
Teeny Driver.
yeah, and then the trilogy
about
is
a
going
midget
to
in a
end up with OAP Driver.
Teeny Driver.
Uh,
Oh, come on.
So is it going to be the case of the Fast and the Furious?
No, it won't get
No,
that.
but Fast and
So-
Furious, the new Fast and the Furious, they're
No, but
nothing
now
like
they
the
have
old
changed
Fast and
them, But if
Furious.
you're talking about, say, the first 3, it's a Car Junkies movie.
I don't.
With a bit
Yeah,
of action.
yeah.
I don't think we mentioned it in news when it came out. But did you see that? The trailer for, is it Calvin and Hobbes,
Yeah.
the spin-off movie?
Oh yeah.
Is that going like?
It's
Is
a
that
side-
Fast and Furious kind of going sci-fi because Idris Elba's some kind of
Sidequel.
robot Superman?
It's a side quill, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not even thinking of
Sidequel,
that.
not
It's-
sci-fi.
Yeah,
Yeah, he injects
like
himself
Idris
with something
Elba is like
nanotechnology. Like,
it's
I
like
was like,
Metal
oh,
Gear
okay.
Solid. But it's like he's acting like he has superpowers, and then The Rock and Jason
Yeah, but
Statham are
he's-
going to take him on. It
Yeah,
just
but
sounds
he's
I
so
have
the
to
weird.
say,
Rock, so he'll need
I-
superpowers. To
I
face the
really
Rock.
love the kind of banter between Statham and The Rock in that trailer.
banter.
Like, just there's one part of it where The Rock jumps out of a top of a building to flow down onto some guys that are we're going down on a rope, and Jason Statham, they're like 1, 2, 3, and Statham doesn't get in it. Goes over to the elevator that's on the side of the building, kind of just cuts the cord so it goes down slowly, and you see like The Rock flying through the air while Jason Statham's in the glass elevator
Mhm.
like this, and it's just fucking deadly. I was like, I'm gonna love that because of that
Mhm.
kind of bromance.
I think I
do.
need to organize some kind of watching of the Fast and the Furious films because I've seen the first
did
one
that about a year
and
and
I've
a
seen
half
the
ago.
fourth one. I kind of want to see the more ridiculous ones as they've
Yeah.
gotten more ridiculous.
They completely changed into it. So there's the last 6. Isn't that
Last
funny to say? Like
6.
last 6. They're 2 trilogies.
Yeah,
So it's a trilogy story and a trilogy story, and they're both they're nothing like the thing. It's an action heist adventure
Mhm.
movie.
But
And they
the
found
first-
the genre because they became $1 billion franchise and everybody fucking loves them.
Well,
so
the first 3 were just like car films,
Yeah.
and then they
Yeah.
went into their heists.
there's no real car films on my list this year. And we got Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
That wasn't a car film.
I
That's
think
what I said. Yeah.
we've
Oh.
I've mentioned my opinions on that film.
Yeah, we all have.
I know.
I
On
loved
this
it, but
podcast.
You were right. You were
I-
wrong. I get it.
I came out mildly disappointed.
Wait, when was Solo?
the following year.
Was it
2018
Solo?
last year.
Yeah.
Was I in Budapest last year? Oh,
You were,
was
yeah.
last
No, I
year,
was.
Weren't
yeah. I
you?
was in
That's this
Budapest
year.
Wait, no,
last
that was
year.
this year. What year is it now?
2019.
Where am I?
Please stop that.
What day is it?
Have you seen the Solo trailer redubbed with the Jason Derulo song?
No.
It's great.
Jason Derulo.
God, I hate Jason. Oh.
It's pitchy chasing someone young for the holding the loo roll. Chasing the loo roll. Give me that. My cheeks
We-
are flaccid and short. Give me that.
2 series franchises which we got, like Pirates of the Caribbean 25
Don't care.
Christ.
and Transformers 18.
Also, don't care.
That's what I'm calling them because I don't care.
There's
It's
too many of those
it's the
cunts.
last night and then Salazar's Revenge.
Salad
like-
Arse Revenge.
Yeah, exactly.
Salad arse.
But from what I've heard,
Salad
that last Caribbean is supposed to be not too bad. It kind of closes up
It was
every
actually good.
storyline.
Really good. I enjoyed
You
it.
saw
Yeah.
Salazar's Revenge,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I think after
Um,
the first
yeah.
one, they're not great films.
Dead Man's
You're
Chest
wrong.
is class. World End is terrible.
With
Yeah.
is Dead Man's Chest the?
The second one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I like that one.
I
Second
really
one,
like
yeah.
the
Black
first
Pearl
one,
and Dead
and I
Man's
don't
Chest are
think
both great films.
I don't think they ever recaptured the magic fully of that first film in the subsequent ones.
No, the fourth one was fucking
But
awful.
especially after 3, it was
I
just
got
like
chills when the same Barbosa come back. I'm just gonna say, like,
I did hear that it kind of closes off and goes, all right, you know what, you gave it a worthy throwaway and then it's done. It's like, oh, cool. And then he announced Johnny Depp retired from the role there last year. So
retired.
The Transformers
Definitely
was
was
the
not
last
forced
night,
out.
and that was the film that literally killed it.
Transformers?
Yeah, it literally killed it to the point of...
the first one killed it for me because it was shite.
the Bumblebee movie
They fully
was
rebooted
good,
it.
though.
I've heard that.
There's a bit of news for you. The Bumblebee, they announced, because of, if you haven't seen it, there's something at the end. It rewrites the thing. It's a new start for Transformers, which is completely needed because they fucking ran it into the ground.
Yeah.
I read a
shit.
synopsis recently on where that story was going, the original Transformers one, and it went to some weird places to do with like the history of Earth and the.
That's where they were going to go.
So, no, like with the Last Night, not with the Bumblebee stuff.
Yeah, it is. The Last Night is.
It's some weird alternate universe Earth history stuff, and it's like, hang on, this fucking Transformers films. It's just it read really weird.
The first one when it came out, you can believe that kind of thing of, all right, a meteorite called the Allspark landed on Earth thousands and thousands of years ago. I get that, and now they're arriving. But when they started saying, it goes, oh, we've been there's been something on your moon. Oh, we also buried dinosaur ones deep in your core, and you're like, now it's starting to lose your traction of the
your
first whole film.
Your planet is a transformer.
Yeah, they made it balls of that one. We got another fucking fantastic John Wick Chapter 2.
I still have yet to watch that.
Of course you do. You seen John Wick's?
No. Another one. No.
We need to add John Wick's to our list. Please, God.
Can we,
oh my God.
Can we just put both of them in the same spot?
A double header.
The two of them.
We should do John Wick, though.
Oh yeah, I'm up for that. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time. So
no, I don't want to fucking cry again.
It's okay. We won't be here when you watch it.
Do we have any live feedback, Joseph?
Live feedback is.
I know you're sorry. I know you're reading through your list. But
no, but we have a few on. Bernie's there.
Hello.
Idel, William.
Hello, William.
Rob Neary was there. I'm not sure if he's still there. It's jumping in and out on the stats, so I have no idea. You never really know with Facebook Live if something is going to work or not.
Yeah.
And then when it does, we've had issues like I don't see a comment, but the comment is there. Good old Facebook Live.
Oh, my internet shit.
No. We've had that issue in Mix before where I'm like, no, there's no comments. And then Aiden's like, yeah, there's 3 or 4 of them there. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. And no, there is no one talking, unfortunately.
Yeah. We should probably wrap up anyway because we're nearly 45 minutes on the live feed anyway.
Cool.
It's going to kill us. I said we're nearly. We're like,
yeah.
We're probably cut us off.
We're way under.
I have one last film.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Disaster Artist, which I still haven't seen.
Oh yeah.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
Really, really fun.
I seem to recall you going in to see that and the cinema not showing it.
No,
or being sold out. Something to that.
Something. Yeah, we had to go to Sydney World instead of IFI because it was sold out. Yeah, that's an excellent film.
That movie that's based on that shite movie.
It's based on that shite movie, yeah, but it's not shite. Neither one of them are shite, and you take that back, you whore. I know, it's great. You should watch it.
It's terrible.
You guys would love it. You'd look at it as well, I'd say, Mick.
No, it's sure I would.
I mean, you paid the price of watching the room. You should get something in it.
I got Jess to watch it, and then we didn't bother to go see The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
It was like, you have to watch The Room before we go see The Disaster Artist. She was like, fine. Then she got really angry because she said she wasted her time watching The Room, and then we ended up not going to see The Disaster Artist.
I really still have to watch that. I will have to add that to my list to watch.
Excellent.
I will.
We might do it for this podcast at some point.
2017, a year I didn't see that many films, apparently.
Yeah, you know what? There's not many others that I have there. Let's see, Alien Covenant.
Nope.
What else was
Did I
listed?
see it? No, I saw the other
Lady Bird, which was a popular one. Dunkirk, which was
widely overrated.
100% agree.
Mick came up with a bad excuse of not seeing movies since he had a kid. When was the kid born?
2017.
When?
June.
What happened to the first half of the year, bitch?
Exactly.
Would you?
A heavily pregnant wife.
Oh, we got the reboot.
You weren't fucking pregnant. What's your problem?
She was chilling out.
We got 2 reboots, actually, now that I think about it. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, and
Not
Kong
seen it.
Skull Island.
Have seen that.
Oh, well done.
Oh, that one you see.
Yeah, that's
Apparently
good.
Jumanji's really good.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Jumanji is awesome.
Yeah, Del
Yeah.
told me she watched it on a
Yeah.
plane. She was pissing herself laughing on the
Which
way
one?
to Melbourne.
Jumanji.
Jumanji. Blake
Yeah, I actually really loved
Again,
it.
The Rock, Kevin Smith. Cannot go wrong.
Kevin Hart, you mean?
Him as well.
Oh yeah,
Kevin
They're
Smith
two
was the
very
other
different people.
It is Kevin Hart, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
Hart. Yeah.
Kevin Smith's the same.
Kong Skull Island is actually quite good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Him as
I
well.
will like-
Sorry,
It's that your man that has Jack White in it, isn't it?
You're breaking, Aiden.
Ah.
All right, go on. You want
He's
to?
thinking about his doorbell.
When you going to ring it?
Oh, I was gonna say it.
Yeah.
Next week. So we're finished with the question of the week.
Yeah. So next week
Apparently.
we have.
Next week we're going to do a genre we've not done before. I think.
Yep.
We're going to tackle a western.
I think we have done one
That's
now.
more country.
A western.
And
And what a western to go for?
We should watch that.
Deliverance.
Fucking Deliverance.
I've never seen Deliverance.
Never seen Deliverance
my
either.
God, what a
Yeah.
fucked
I only
up
know
movie.
about the famous part of it.
Do we not?
You got a pretty mouth.
Do we not
Your
serve?
brother don't have
Dibs
dibs
on
on you.
Do we not sort of semi-settle on the Hateful Eight?
Oh, we did.
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
did.
We
We're
did.
doing
We
Hateful
did.
Eight.
The Grateful
Yes.
Mates.
On a question of the week, do we have any ideas now that we're taught about western wise?
Best and worst Tarantino?
Didn't we do something like that?
No.
No?
I don't remember.
I don't think for Pulp Fiction I
Tarantino.
can't remember. I
Is
think
he
for Pulp
sound?
Fiction we did 94 a year in film.
Mhm.
Oh,
we
we
could
did.
we
think
could
like
just
it.
do like a Tarantino talk, like
Yeah.
about Tarantino. His
So we're
films.
gonna listen to Mick talk for like a half hour.
Yeah,
And Aiden.
Oh,
I'll be.
big enough for Tarantino?
Oh God, yeah.
I've
All right,
fallen
you know,
off
I
him
think
in
we can
recent
word.
years,
I think
but
I can word up something.
I'm sure it'll be
For,
better than
you
Arnie
can word
anyway.
good.
I can word good.
Hard.
Okay, so Aiden, as usual, what can people do if they want to contact us?
Just just text me.
Aiden's phone, oh yeah, 052647474.
I really hope that's his number.
Yeah, make you fucking know about it. No,
Stay away
Did
from
I ever
the
tell you
mic
about the
just so I
time?
don't snore.
Did I ever tell you about the time I gave
Oh,
out
yeah.
my mom's phone number on the night link?
So funny.
Wait, who?
No.
You gave who? What?
Gave his mom's number on the
Quickly, we
night.
only got 3 minutes in live.
I
here.
was
Oh, do we?
very drunk,
Yeah.
and someone, I can't remember what the even start of the conversation was, and I think it was literally, you wouldn't text her. I know you fucking wouldn't. And then it was, her number's 08, and gave it away in the night link. And
Yeah.
apparently my mom got one or two weird text
Any chance
messages.
of a cup of tea?
Jesus.
Anyway,
That was amazing.
So if you want
yeah,
to,
I'm an asshole.
If you want,
Yeah,
hey,
that was-
SSHOLE. If you want to contact us, find us on Facebook and just search for Preachin on Preacher. You'll find us there. Twitter at PreachinPod, preachinonpreacher@gmail.com. All of our back episodes are on preachinonpreacher.com.
I almost forgot to renew the payment for our web domain this
Oh,
week.
really?
Yeah.
Spotify, Mixcloud, or take the RSS feed from preachinonpreacher.com and stick it up yours. Or sorry, stick it
Wow.
stick it in your preferred podcasting app. And we're also in the official Google Podcast App Store.
Is.
Yeah. So that's it. So
Whopper.
listen, it's been straight up whack.
It's been average
Fire
at best.
emojis
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's been
The average showman.
it's been the showman. It's been hot fire.
That's still a good, still a good joke. Just the show.
I will. Yeah, exactly. No, just
The
the showman.
good showman?
No, the showman.
Mediocre. Mundane.
I love that he's gonna
Um,
you know, suck a
Alright.
dick.
If you want to
Yeah.
know our actual feelings on The Greatest Showman,
Yeah,
listen to
then
the first half of the podcast.
which
Whenever
will
I
be
bother to edit it.
which will be
Unless
open about a
someone's
week's time.
skipping through it right now, they've definitely listened to the first part
Yeah.
of the podcast.
Well, no, people
Then if you
watching
have
live
listened to
Facebook.
it, go back and
oh, that's
listen
true.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the-
Okay, so I will see you guys on the Facebooks and on the podcast and all that sort of stuff next week. And keep on preaching.